Dear students, in this session, we will be discussing about the staffing process in management. We shall also discuss the human resource planning method and its advantages. Introduction. Now consider a situation where you own a store and employed 5 persons to work between the hours of 8 am to 6 pm at Rs 10 per hour. Given this scenario, you would be spending around Rs 500 on payroll. But unfortunately, you find that the store has a turnover of only Rs 300 per day. Thereby, you keep losing Rs 200 every day. The smart move now would be to put down the number of employees to just 2, so that the work goes on, yet providing you a profit. So how can this be handled? This can be handled appropriately by applying staffing process of the management. Staffing is a term that refers to the management of employee schedules. For many retail businesses, staffing is monitored in an hourly basis because the cost of employee paychecks is significant cost driver for the organization. Now let's know about staffing function in more detailed perspective. Staffing. The managerial function of staffing involves manning the organization structure through proper and effective selection, appraisal, and development of the personnel to fill the roles assigned to the employers or the workforce. According to Theo Heyman, staffing pertains to recruitment, selection, development, and compensation of subordinates. According to Harold Kuntz, staffing means filling and keeping filled positions in the organization structure. The term staffing in management consists of selecting the right person for the right post, training and development, giving proper remuneration and motivation, performance appraisal of employees, proper promotions, transfers, etc. Now let's get on to the features of staffing. The following are the important features of staffing. Staffing is an important managerial function. Staffing function is the most important managerial act along with planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. The operations of these 4 functions depend on the manpower which is available through staffing function. Staffing is a pervasive activity, as staffing function is carried out by all managers in all type of concerns where business activities are carried out. Staffing is a continuous activity. The reason is because staffing function continues throughout the life of an organization due to the transfers and promotions that take place. The basis of staffing function is efficient management of personnel. Human resources can be efficiently managed by a system or proper procedure, that is, recruitment, selection, placement, training, and development, providing remuneration, etc. Staffing helps in placing right men at the right job. It can be done effectively through proper recruitment procedures and then finally selecting the most suitable candidate as per the job requirements. Staffing is performed by all managers depending upon the nature of the business of the company, qualifications and skills of managers, etc. In smaller companies, the top management generally performs this function. In medium and small scale enterprise, it is performed especially by the personnel department of that concern. Now let's talk about the factors affecting staffing function. The internal factors that affect staffing function are promotion policy. Staffing is affected by the promotion policy of the organization. If the organization has a good promotion policy with prospects to career growth and development, only then the efficient people will be attracted to the organization. Internal promotions are better for lower and middle level jobs. This is because it increases the morale and motivation of the staff. However, for top level jobs, the right person must be selected. The right person may be from within the organization or he or she may be selected from outside the organization. Now, future growth plans. Staffing is also affected by the future growth plans of the organization. If the organization wants to grow and expand, then it will need many talented people. In order to grow and expand, the organization must select experts and give them continuous training and development. Technology used. Staffing is also affected by the technology used by the organization. If the organization uses modern technologies, then it must have continuous training programs to update the technical knowledge of their staff. Support from top management. Staffing is also affected by the support from top management. If the top management gives full support, then the organization can have scientific selection procedures, scientific promotion and transfer policies, continuous training programs, career development programs, etc. Image of organization. Staffing is also affected by the image of organization in the market job. If it has good image, then staffing will attract the best employees and managers. An organization earns a good image only if it maintains good staffing policies and practices. This includes job security, training and development, promotion, good working environment, work culture, etc. The external factors that affect staffing are labor laws. Labor laws of the government also affect the staffing policy of the organization. For example, the organization has to support social equality and upliftment policies of the government by giving job reservations to candidates coming from depressed classes like scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, other backward classes, etc., and even to those who are physically handicapped. It is mandatory for an organization not to recruit children in their workforce and stop child labor. The provisions of Minimum Wages Act guide an organization to fix minimum salaries of employees and stop their economic exploitation. Pressure from socio-political groups. Staffing is also affected by activities of socio-political groups and parties. These groups and parties put pressure on the organization to grant jobs only to local people. The concept of sons of soil is becoming popular in India. Competition. In India, there is a huge demand for highly qualified and experienced staff. This has resulted in competition between different organizations to attract and hire efficient staff. Organizations often change their staffing policies, offer attractive salaries and other job benefits in order to add the best minds in their workforce. Educational standards. Staffing is also affected by the educational standards of an area. If the educational standard of a place is very high, then the organization will only select qualified and experienced staff for all job positions. For example, some IT companies in India only prefer skilled candidates with computer or IT engineering degree for the post of software developer. Other external factors. Staffing is also affected by other external factors such as trade unions, social attitude towards work, etc. Staffing process. The following are the steps involved in the staffing process. Manpower requirements. The very first step in staffing is to plan manpower inventory required by a concern in order to match them with the job requirements and demands. Therefore, it involves forecasting and determining of the future manpower needs of the concern. Recruitment. Once the requirements are notified, the concern invites and solicits applications according to the invitations made to the desirable candidates. Selection. This is the screening step of staffing in which the solicited applications are screened out and suitable candidates are appointed as per the requirements. Orientation and placement. Once the screening takes place, the appointed candidates are made familiar to the work units and work environment through the orientation programs. Placement takes place by putting right man on the right job. Training and development. Training is a part of incentives given to the workers in order to develop and grow them within the concern. Training is generally given according to the nature of activities and scope of expansion in it. Along with it, the workers are developed by providing them with extra benefits of in-depth knowledge of the functional areas. Development also includes giving them key and important jobs as a test or examination in order to analyze their performances. Remuneration. It is a kind of compensation provided monetarily to the employees for their work performances. This is given according to the nature of job, skilled or unskilled, physical or mental, etc. Remuneration forms an important monetary incentive for the employees. Performance evaluation. In order to keep a track or record of the behavior, attitudes as well as opinions of the workers towards their jobs, for this regular assessment is done to evaluate and supervise different work units in a concern. It is basically concerning to know the development cycle and growth patterns of the employees in a concern. Promotion and transfer. Promotion is said to be a non-monetary incentive in which the worker is shifted from a higher job demanding bigger responsibilities as well as shifting the workers and transferring them to different units and branches of the same organization. Human resource planning. Every business unit needs human resource or manpower for the conduct of different business activities. In fact, no organization can exist or operate efficiently without the support of human resource. Such human resource includes top-level managers, executives, supervisors and other subordinates, or the lower-level staff. A business organization has to estimate its future manpower needs and adjust its manpower planning and development programs accordingly. This is called staffing function of management. Human resource management is also described as personnel management or manpower management. Column has defined human resource planning as the process of determining manpower requirements and the means for meeting those requirements in order to carry an integrated plan at the organization. Stainer defines manpower planning as strategy for the acquisition, utilization, improvement and preservation of an enterprise's human resources. It relates to establishing job specifications or the quantitative requirements of jobs, determining the number of personnel required and developing resources of manpower. According to Edwin Flippo, personnel management is the planning, organizing, directing and controlling of the procurement, development, compensation, integration and maintenance of the people for the purpose of contributing to the organizational, individual and social goals. Various areas such as recruitment and selection, wage payment and industrial relations are covered under human resource management. What does human resource planning actually mean? In an industrial unit, large number of persons are employed in order to conduct various operations and activities. This is treated as human resource or manpower employed. A business unit needs material resources as well as human resources for the conduct of various activities. Of all the M's in management, such as materials, machines, methods and money, the most important M stands for men, that is, manpower working in the organization. It is through manpower or employees that all other ingredients of an enterprise, which is money, machines, materials, marketing, etc., are managed. In brief, human resources, which is HR, constitutes the most important and the most productive resource of an industrial business unit. It is rightly said that machines are important in the production process, but the man behind the machines is more important. He transforms the lifeless factors of production into useful products. Human resources, HR, is an important asset of a business unit. Well-trained, loyal and efficient team of workers brings success and stability to a business unit. This also suggests the importance of human resources in business. People and the organization in which they work are interrelated and interdependent. Organization moves towards prosperity only by using the available human resource purposefully. Similarly, employees get various monetary and other benefits through the prosperity of their organization. Steps in human resource planning. Human resource planning has to be a systems approach and is carried out in a set procedure. The procedure is as follows. Analyzing the current manpower inventory, making future manpower forecasts, developing employment programs, designing training programs. Analyzing the current manpower inventory. Before a manager makes a forecast of future manpower, The current manpower status has to be analyzed. For this, the following things need to be noticed: type of organization, number of departments, number and quantity of such departments, employees in these work units. Once these factors are registered by a manager, he goes for the future forecasting. Making future manpower forecasts. Once the factors affecting the future manpower forecasts are known, planning can be done for the future manpower requirements in several work units. Developing employment programs. Once the current inventory is compared with future forecasts, the employment programs can be framed and developed accordingly, which will include recruitment, selection procedures, and placement plans. Design training programs. These will be based on the extent of diversification, expansion plans, development programs, etc. Training programs depend on the extent of improvement in technology and advancement to take place. It is also done to improve upon the skills, capabilities, and knowledge of the workers. Importance of human resource planning in management. Human resource is most important resource in management and needs to be used efficiently. This is because success, stability, and growth of any organization depends on its ability in acquiring, utilizing, and developing the human resources for the benefit of the organization. In the final analysis, it is people, that is employees, who produce promising results and generate a climate conducive to the growth and development of an organization. HR is highly productive corporate asset, and the overall performance of companies and corporations depends upon the extent to which it is effectively developed and utilized. It is the most delicate factor of production and need not be treated merely as a commodity to be brought and used in factories. According to Peter Drucker, the function of management is to manage managers, workers, and work. The importance of manpower in business management is now universally accepted. Employees have a capacity to grow and develop if suitable opportunities are offered. They give positive response to monetary and non-monetary incentives, training, opportunities, favorable work environment, and motivation. According to Piggers and Mayers, good management means getting effective results with people. This suggests the importance of human resources. Human resource is certainly important even in this age of extensive use of computer technology. This is because machine cannot be used as a substitute for human brain, which has the capacity to think, assess, and react. It is correct to say that man is a power rather than man has a power. Progressive or professional management invests huge funds on training and development of human resources, and this suggests the importance of human resource and its contribution in industrial and economic development. Professionally managed companies in India such as Larsen & Toubro Limited, Telco, Reliance, etc. give special importance and good attention to HRD. The following remark of Shri Dhirubhai Ambani, former chairman of Reliance Industries Limited, made in the 21st AGM held on 3/8/95 is worth noting in this regard. Our people are assets you can never show on a balance sheet. Our company has a human resource asset of around 12,500 people, 3,000 of which constitute scientific and technical manpower. Every year, we add over 450 young professionals. These motivated and well-trained people are the backbone of our business. The team is young in spirit, conscious of its responsibilities, and committed to building world-class assets for the country. Objectives of human resource planning. The objectives of human resource planning are to ensure optimum utilization of human resources currently employed in the organization, to determine the future manpower requirements of the organization as per the needs of the renovations, modernization, expansion and growth programs, to determine the recruitment level, to ensure that necessary human resources are available as and when required, to assess future accommodation requirements, to design the basis for management development programs so as to develop the required talents among the employees selected. Advantages and importance of HRP. Meeting manpower needs. Every organization needs adequate and properly qualified staff for the conduct of regular business activities. Imaginative HRP is needed in order to meet the growing and changing human resource needs of an organization. Replacement of manpower. The existing manpower in an organization is affected due to various reasons such as retirement and removal of employees and labor turnover. HRP is needed to estimate the shortfall in the manpower requirement and also for making suitable arrangements for the recruitment and appointment of new staff. Meeting growing manpower needs. The expansion or modernization program may be undertaken by the enterprise. Manpower planning is needed in order to forecast and meet additional manpower requirement due to expansion and growth needs through recruitment and suitable training programs. Meeting challenges of technological environment. HRP is useful in effective use of technological process. To meet the challenge of new technology, existing employees need to be retrained and new employees may be recruited. Coping with change. HRP enables an enterprise to cope with changes in competitive forces, markets, products and technology and government regulations. Such changes generate changes in job content, skill, number and type of personnels. Increasing investment in HR. An employee who picks up skills and abilities becomes a valuable resource because an organization makes investment in manpower either through direct training or job assessment. Adjusting manpower requirements. A situation may develop in an organization when there will be surplus staff in one department and shortage of staff in other department. Transfers and promotions are made for meeting such situations. Recruitment and selection of employees. HRP suggests the type of manpower required in an organization with necessary details. This facilitates recruitment and selection of suitable personnel for the jobs in the organization. Introduction of appropriate selection tests and procedures is also possible as per the manpower requirements. Placement of manpower. HRP is needed as it facilitates placement of newly selected persons in the different departments as per their qualification and also as per the need of different departments. Surplus or shortage of manpower is avoided and this ensures optimum utilization of available manpower. Training of manpower. HRP is helpful in selection and training activities. It ensures that adequate number of persons are trained to fill up the future vacancies in the organization. Main obstacles that organizations face in the process of manpower planning. Underutilization of manpower. The biggest obstacle in case of manpower planning is the fact that the industries in general are not making optimum use of the manpower, and once manpower planning begins, it encounters heavy odds in stepping up the utilization. Degree of absenteeism. Absenteeism is quite high and has been increasing since last few years. Lack of education and skilled labor. The extent of illiteracy and the slow pace of development of the skilled categories account for low productivity in employees. Low productivity has implications for manpower planning. Manpower control and review. Any increase in manpower is considered at the top level of management. On the basis of manpower plans, personnel budgets are prepared. These act as control mechanisms to keep the manpower under certain broadly defined limits. Conclusion. In this session, we discussed about the staffing process in management. We also discussed the human resource planning method and its advantages. This session has enabled us to know what staffing is all about, the staffing process in management, human resource planning and advantages of HRP. The managerial function of staffing involves manning the organization structure through proper and effective selection, appraisal and development of the personnel to fill the roles assigned to the employers or the workforce. Every business unit needs human resource or manpower for the conduct of different business activities. In fact, No organization can exist or operate efficiently without the support of human resource. Such human resource includes top-level managers, executives, supervisors and other subordinate, lower-level staff, employees. A business organization has to estimate its future manpower needs and adjust its manpower planning and development programs accordingly. This is called staffing function of management. Human resource management is also described as personnel management or manpower management. By going through this session, we got to know that human resource is certainly important even in this age of extensive use of computer technology. This is because machine cannot be used as a substitute for human brain, which has the capacity to think, assess and react.